Hey guys, this is the Media Men. I'm Keegan.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Lucas.
And this week was episode 5 of Flash and Arrow. Now we had a lot of new information revealed to us this week, so let's get into it. Starting with Flash. What did you guys think?
Awesome episode. My favorite of the season.
Yeah, it was also my favorite of the season. I really liked that at the beginning, Caitlin acknowledged that it wasn't Wells of Earth 1 that did all those horrible things. She said that, that Wells was killed a long time ago, and it was Eobard that was actually doing all the evil stuff.
Yeah, I've been complaining about that for 4 episodes. I'm really glad that they addressed it finally.
I also like that they didn't waste a bunch of time, having an unnecessary quarrel with this Wells that carried over from what the previous Wells did. That would have just been pointless, because the whole time we would have been it's not the same person, so I'm glad they, didn't dwell on that at all.
I really like how they're all being so logical. This is how actual people would react. Barry's look, it freaks me out to look at him, but he's not the same Wells, so we can't treat him like the same Wells, so that's cool.
The only one who was struggling with that, it seemed was Cisco at first. He had a really tough time. Throughout the episode, he was not really able to swallow that entirely.
Oh, yeah, but they still, worked. He wasn't I'm not gonna work with you.
Well, when Wells said, I don't need you to like me because I don't like you, I just need you to work with me, he was like, we'll see if I can. He never said he would. He just said, we'll see.
Kind of has to, though.
I know, but he's he's not willingly doing it. It's more out of necessity.
Yeah, Cisco is probably being the most unreasonable, though Joe shot him without asking any questions first.
Nah, just walked straight in, bullets firing.
I thought that was a little bit much. Come on.
Yeah.
I understand the guy, ruined everyone's lives, but...
I think he was...
Yeah, but he was just standing there talking to them, and he goes... Pah, pah, pah.
And wasn't I'm pretty sure Joe had been explained that the other Wells literally disintegrated from existence.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like he really gets the sciencey stuff.
No.
That's not sciencey, though.
I mean, it's hard to wrap your head around when you see it happen, I guess. I mean, we get it because we have a different perspective.
I mean, I'm still really surprised how quickly everyone accepted the fact that he was from Earth 2. I guess they did get Jay there to confirm, but they didn't, lock him away or anything until they, found out any real answers.
Yeah, I liked how Caitlin was like, I'm going to do tests on you, and he was like, they're not going to reveal anything because my genetic makeup is exactly the same. And she was like, I know, I'm just going to do it anyways. I like that whole exchange.
Yeah, I like that exchange too. I thought Wells' episode was phenomenal.
Oh yeah, he's
so glad he's back.
He's such a dick, but it's endearing almost.
He's really good at playing an asshole.
Yeah, I like his no shit attitude. It works.
Yeah, I thought so too. I really liked when he made Cisco use his vibe powers and just shoved the helmet right in his chest after Cisco was doubting himself.
Yeah, he's not playing any games.
Like most people who discover they have an ability or something in things we've seen, when you don't know how to control it yet, it's usually fueled entirely off of emotion. So I think he was purposely getting him worked up because he knew that would trigger it.
That's possible.
It worked. I mean, that's always seems how many times have we seen something in a superhero setting where out of necessity and anger or frustration, even when Goku goes Super Saiyan the first time?
Yeah.
That sort of thing. It's out of emotion that powers are drawn out when they're dormant kind of still.
Yeah.
That's possible too.
I think Wells is being very supportive of the whole Flash team though. He has so much confidence that Barry can take down Zoom.
I know, that was awesome. He was like, yeah, Barry's better than you, Jay.
I know. He was like, yeah, I've seen the stats. He can run faster. He's just a better overall hero than you. There were shots fired, though, when Wells called Jay a coward.
Yeah, he's like, he doesn't run away from danger, he runs to it. You're a coward. I was like, damn, going at him. I felt Barry just, standing there very awkwardly. He was like, well, thanks for the compliment, but you're not being very nice about it.
I am not so quick to jump onto the Wells mentor bandwagon as you guys. I think that until we know a little bit more about him, there should be some, yeah, he's being supportive of Barry and everything, but the original Wells was also. It's very possible still that he has some sort of hidden agenda and he's using Barry in the same way. I know that that'd be kind of redundant for the show to do, but it would also be unexpected in a sense, and it's very possible still. So until there's more proof that he is not hiding anything, because I know they foreshadowed that a little bit or tried to make us think this. So I don't know. I'm not ready to admit he's fully on board with everyone.
Well, he hasn't told them about his daughter.
Yeah, I think
So-
that's his ulterior motive.
Yeah.
His ulterior motive is just another reason of why he wants to take down Zoom. It's not just because he created him, as he says. It's because I think Zoom has his daughter, so his ultimate goal is to get her back.
I thought that was Jay's daughter.
No.
When did they say it was Dr. Wells' daughter?
She was there when he was giving the speech, and she was like cheering him on, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was cheering him on. Then after Jay left, she went up to Wells and said, "Dad, are you all right?"
All right, well, we can cut this part out.
No, we're gonna leave it in.
But that end scene with Zoom, he looks terrifying.
Yeah, sounds terrifying.
Oh yeah, he looks much scarier now that we saw him like full view.
Like the way his mask moved when he talked, it was, I don't know, it was kind of looked reminiscent of like a scarecrow mask.
Yeah, I got that impression
Yeah.
too.
Me too.
But I really liked it. The costume was very menacing.
Yeah, it looked better with some. There was a little more lighting around, still not much, but it wasn't as plain as we originally thought it might be.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it wasn't.
There's like texture to it.
Yeah, and it wasn't distorted. He wasn't doing his speed thing, so you couldn't really see it as well.
Yeah, I think Barry, his suit also looks better when they have like the CG version of him when he's like doing those like super fast punches and stuff. Because those are like completely CG images of him when he's going at super speed. I think it looks more form-fitting and natural when they have those.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they do such a good job with that. Just the CG Barry in general. Because I'm like, something looks slightly off, but it doesn't look so off that it's weird. Maybe it's because we know he's moving in super speed, so he's going to look different anyways. So maybe our minds just kind of adapt to it more than they would otherwise. Because there's been a lot of movies and stuff where they try to recreate the character, a person, a full human, and it looks really weird. But this actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with the blur around him.
Yeah, probably.
But I think when he did his speed mirage was really cool, and that's like another really good tool that he has to use, like throwing the lightning, that I hope he doesn't forget in the future.
Yeah, I also like how Harrison Wells was like, or Barry was doubting himself that he could move fast enough, and he was like, "You went and traveled in time. You could move fast enough."
Yeah, I'm glad they addressed that, because if he said he couldn't move fast enough, I would have said the same exact thing. I'm like, dude, you ran through time.
And you dodged light earlier in the episode.
Yeah,
You dodged light, so you can move fast enough.
Yeah, that was great.
I wonder if the showrunners realize him dodging lightning and stuff means he's moving faster than the speed of light. I guess he could move before he sees them release it, so he doesn't have to move at the speed of light, but it still seems kind of odd.
Yeah, no, I feel like they have to know, and there are always going to be inconsistencies throughout all superhero shows that in real life physics doesn't always take into account.
And a lot of it like adds to how they can play out certain scenes, and like if it weren't for doing that at times, it would seem kind of pointless what's going on. Something that I did have a problem though with in this episode was why those speed mirages even worked against her. Because when he first started doing them, she just did like a ground thing, and then Barry, like it hit all of them and Barry flew back. Why didn't she just do that again when he started making more of them?
Yeah, that was weird.
Well, I think, in my personal opinion, I feel like doing the burst takes a lot of energy out of her. So I don't know if she would have physically been able to do it twice in a row.
I think they should have done a better job then of making her look exhausted after she used it, so that it would have been a believable thing. Because I didn't get that impression at all. I just thought she was, for some reason, not choosing to use it. And I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I had that same thought too. But, if I'm going to try to reason it, my reason is because she couldn't do it twice in a row.
I can accept that, but it
But
was
they definitely
odd.
didn't explain it, so, or like allude to that.
No, they did not. But minor gripes, I think, overall. Episode was pretty solid.
I really like Patty and Barry's date.
Yeah. I almost forgot about that. That was awesome. That was some of the best dating scene I've seen on the show. Like, they went on a literal blind date.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I'm glad that Iris was like really encouraging of her
Yeah,
going,
me too.
like of her,
Yeah.
I guess, of him going on the date with Patty, and she was like, "Come on, there's got to be something here that can help." And then Patty like called it by the end of the date. She was like, "Come on, like I can tell you're blind."
I think that was obvious as soon as he walked in wearing those big glasses indoors at night. Or I guess they got there during the day, but like no one wears glasses inside.
Yeah.
I thought for a second Iris wasn't going to be supportive, because when she was first like, "Who's P?" and he told her, she was like, "Oh." At first I thought she sounded like a little jealous or like not supportive of it, and I was like, "Oh no, they're not going to do this." But then she was, and I was relieved.
Yeah. Also, speaking of the relationships, Cisco asking out Kendra Saunders, that's Hot Girl, in case you guys didn't know.
Oh, no, I knew that, yeah. That was cool.
So that's going to be really interesting. I mean, they were talking about, like, the chances of them meeting a metahuman is really small, and Cisco's a metahuman, and she's an alien, basically. So.
Is she?
Yeah, she said she had just moved there.
Yeah, she's an alien from another planet that had been that is, like, constantly being reincarnated.
Okay,
in the
wasn't
comics.
sure, because I know Hot Girl, there's, like, she's from Thanagar in some comics, and then other comics it's something else.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we don't know which version of her this is, but
We know she's not a meta, though.
she's definitely not a meta, but at, like, the very least, she does have the reincarnation ability, and she does not know, like, who she is yet. I know that they're gonna have Hawkman come on the show, and he does know about, like, the reincarnation, and he knows that, like, Kendra or Hawk Girl and Hawkeye, or Hawkman, are meant to be
Hawk guy.
Hawk
Hawk fellow.
Hawk dude. Hawk bro.
Hawk chap. Yeah, no, that was cool. She has some impressive cheekbones.
And there was a third little potential romance brewing there in that one scene where Caitlin and Jay almost had a little smooch fest.
Oh man, cock block.
I like that too. I felt bad that they got cock blocked, but I did like that scene. I liked all the romantic-ish scenes in this episode. They're doing it really well.
Well, I think the chemistries of the characters work really well.
Yeah, I think Barry and Miss Spivot have really good chemistry. At least in that dating scene, that was really, really good.
Yeah, I agree. And also,
I just like how you mentioned before, how she was able to figure out that he was blind because she's a detective. So
yeah.
I wonder how long it's going to be till she figures out he's the Flash.
I give it till mid-season finale.
Oh, I do too.
I don't even know if I give it that long anymore.
Yeah, I mean, she's walked up behind them when they're talking about Flash stuff and, like, just barely missed the bit of information that would have led her to believe he's the Flash.
Oh, yeah, and she's a good detective, too, so...
Yeah, I like how earlier she was like, yeah, the land shark or king shark was gonna kill the Flash, and then this guy saved him. And Barry was like, well, he wasn't gonna kill him. I think the Flash had it under control. And she goes, no, I was there.
I love that. That was one of my favorite moments from the episode. This whole season the humor has been phenomenal.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
I really like how they're setting her up to be, like a strong female character. So, like, she's not a damsel in distress that Barry's going to have to constantly be saving. She'll be able to, like, take her own. So
yeah, me too. The female, all the females in this season, I think, are better than they were in season 1. Especially Iris. Now that there's the romantic triangle's gone, I think that she's being given more to do. And I don't know, her whole annoying factor was her, like, kind of stringing along Barry. But now that they're just friends, I think that works so much better.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, so it was interesting. So when Harrison Wells whipped out his handy-dandy smartwatch that detects metahumans, Caitlin, it didn't go off on her. And she goes, well, I don't think if any of us suddenly turn into metahumans that we'd be bad. So that was definitely a wink nod.
Yeah, like foreshadowing her being Killer Frost, or a version of her being Killer Frost.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like it was more directed towards her, though, because she said if we, as in, like, the group of people, ever got powers. But I guess it could also be, like, another version of her would have done it.
See, to me, it made it, like, it almost has to be this version of Caitlin that turns into her. Because
that's what I thought, too.
It was too strong of a hint, I feel like.
Or it could just be a very not subtle Easter egg for the fans. But I think that about wraps it up for Flash now, so moving on to Arrow. That was another great episode, I thought. I really liked it. I mean, they brought in John Constantine.
I liked his introduction.
I thought it was a great introduction. It was very badass.
Going off of that, the flashbacks this season, even though they're really short, like they don't feel as intrusive as they did in season 3. I'm enjoying them more, and I didn't think that I would because I actually liked the Hong Kong stuff, but I'm liking the island scenes better. I think already.
Yeah, Oliver has more of a heroic sense, I think, now on the island than he has presented in a lot of his other flashbacks. He was like, no, don't kill them, but now he's like making an active effort to save people.
He's also starting to like think more tactically, and like he's starting to seem more Green Arrow-esque in his actions and decisions. So it's starting, you can see they're doing a really good job of making him lead into becoming what he's going to become with the flashbacks this season. Like when he decided he had to go back to the camp, and because he can't leave all those people behind. Oliver in the beginning, in the first couple of seasons, probably would have taken that chance to leave the island.
Yeah.
And also, he's always thinking about how he has to go back. Like, he was like, oh, you need to punch me in the face because I can't go back looking like nothing happened. Like, he just seems so much more tactical and on top of things than he's been.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like he's his survival instincts, he's becoming more independent and more confident. So I almost feel like he's becoming closer to what his season 1 guy is. Though he is a little nicer, it seems like, almost.
Yeah, he does seem a little nicer in the flashbacks than he was in season 1. I mean, he was like a pretty hardcore murderer of villains in the first season.
I mean,
he was pretty heartless.
Yeah, he definitely wanted to help people, but
at the same time, he is like trying to get the crew to step on landmines. So he's definitely still killing people in the flashbacks.
Yeah, he has no qualms about killing people he deems as bad. I'm waiting for the handbook, his dad's book, to come back into play. Like, I keep forgetting about that, but something has to happen to make him want to do that again.
It was another thing that I had completely forgotten about, like the handbook. That when he said it in this episode, I was like, oh, right, that guy. When he mentioned Tommy dying and saying, I still think about Tommy every day, I was like, oh yeah, Tommy!
Yeah, I mean, Merlin kind of brings him up occasionally, too, so.
But it was nice to see him. Speaking of which, of him bringing Tommy up, I really loved all of Oliver's interactions with the other characters. I thought they were all made sense. They were logical, spot on. I liked how he wasn't a dick to Thea. He was like, I have no business being mad at people for keeping secrets when I'm Mr. King's secret keeper.
He also apologized to her for it. Like,
yeah, he's been like a really good person. I really like it. I like how he dealt with Laurel also. Man, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was really good.
He's becoming a more likable character, I want to say. Even though I liked him before, but he's very
well, he's more relatable now, like, I think, in a sense.
Yeah, you feel like you understand him. He's not as distant and cold.
No, not at all.
He also used his one owed time to call Constantine to save, like, Laurel's sister. Not for something, like, more personal than that, even though, I mean, that is personal, but, like, Laurel was about to kill her, and that would have solved the problem, but he was like, no, I have a better idea. So, I mean, it's just nice to see him acting so heroically.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I know you guys didn't watch Constantine last year, but Constantine is, I think, the best live-action version of a superhero, like, as it relates to the comics. It's literally like they just took him off a comic book page and put him in a show. He's exactly the same character, which I think is really kind of cool. They don't, like, take liberties with Constantine, or haven't taken liberties with him. He's the same guy.
It's weird, really weird, how much he looks like the comic book character. Like, I read one of the Justice League graphic novels, and you look at the page, and I was like, did they base this design off of the show?
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I mean, the comic came out years before, and I'm still thinking, did they go and, like, plan this show, have the actors ready, like, just on cue, and then they were like, hey, he looks pretty good, let's make him Constantine.
Yeah, it's kind of freaky, actually, but it's cool. I really like his character. I don't know much about him from the comics, but he seemed pretty in line with how he was in the one comic book I did read.
Yeah, I really like his character a lot, too, and I think they kind of left it open for him to possibly make another appearance when Oliver was like, any situation you need me somewhere, I'll be there. I think they might explore that a little bit at some point.
Yeah. I know they don't have plans right now. Like, this was, they was just supposed to be in this episode, but they definitely set it up in such a way to where he could come back.
Yeah, they left it open on purpose, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I also like how we learned the origin of one of Oliver's tattoos, and now we know he's going to have to use that at some point.
Yeah, so what I was thinking when I saw that, I don't remember when he got kicked off the cliff at Ra's al Ghul, but is it possible, because he was like, this might come in handy dealing with Ryder or whatever the guy's name is. Is it possible that's part of the reason he survived?
That would be a really, really interesting twist. I would love that twist, actually.
It would.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
We could not have possibly foreseen that back then. And that would make it much more reasonable and acceptable.
Yeah, I would buy it.
They still haven't gone into, like, I mean, I know the guy revived him or whatever but I still didn't like the way they handled that.
They didn't explain it. He was just kind of alive.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't make sense for him to survive that fall to begin with. Like, he would have been dead on impact. So they definitely didn't go into it. So if they use that tattoo to provide an explanation, I'm not sure they will, because I don't know if they would go back to one of those seasons, but if they did, I would really, really like that.
No, I would too. I would love that, actually.
I've got a feeling, though, that it'll be something to do with something that happens in a flashback.
Yeah, it probably will, but ideally it would be that. So, Diggle's brother, like, Hive had a...
That's what I was about to say.
Oh, cool. So, great minds think alike, I guess. So,
I wasn't about to say that, so I guess not.
Oh, well, I guess your mind isn't so great.
Damn.
Need some burn heal. Alright, the reasoning for killing Diggle's brother was not quite as terrible as I imagined it would be. I mean, it still, like, sucks that his brother's dead, but his brother wasn't exactly a good person. At least from what we were being led to believe based on this episode. I think
Damien said he was a crime lord of some kind, wasn't he?
Yeah. So... that's interesting. I wonder if they'll probably delve deeper into that. I wonder how much of it is true, why he was a crime lord. I think we'll be finding that stuff out.
Yeah, I think so too. I think a lot of this season is going to have to revolve around Diggle and finding more about like his brother's death and Hive, because this is the new villain that's come onto the show. So it's already initially connected to Diggle.
Yes. Man, I was really surprised when I saw that. I was like, oh, damn, Diggle's not going to like this. And I like how Captain Lance went ahead and just told him. I like that.
Yeah.
Like, he went and got that information for him.
I like that Captain Lance, like, he's, like, accepted in the Arrow layer now.
Yeah, me too. I like it.
It was time. He knew it was Oliver for so long before he got accepted into the Arrow cave, which, like, makes sense. He's a cop. Like, why would you want a cop down there? But at this point, they're, like, more than, like, cop and vigilante. They're, like, friends, almost.
Which you never would have thought was going to happen this quickly after everything that transpired before he left Central or Star City last year.
No, I definitely didn't think so. But I think it helps it humbled Lance a lot when he learned who he was really working for. So, like, he doesn't feel like he has quite enough reason to criticize other people for not being so honorable.
Yeah. Lance in general, his whole emotional arc last episode really came into play here, how he's being very helpful and not mean.
Not a dick.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying him.
Yeah, I like Lance and Diggle's interaction, too. I thought they played a very good part when they went to steal the encryption or delete those files of people.
I love the way Lance treated it when the alarm went off. That was hilarious.
Oh, that was great. So many good little moments. This season of Arrow has been really good.
It's cool to see how we can have so many different combinations of characters working together that we haven't seen previously, and see them mend together so well and just, like, work. There hasn't been... I can't think of any moments where I was like, why are those people together? Right? like, when Laurel and Thea went to Nanda Parbat, that was fine. Diggle and Lance in this episode, like, it's just cool to see all these different combinations we haven't seen before and see the relationships and the whole just map evolve of character interactions.
Yeah, I think the team-ups this season... They're taking chances and not staying so conservative of just sticking to, like, Oliver and Diggle or Oliver and Felicity. They're, like, going out and they're all having separate connections with other people. So I really like that.
And one thing I do kind of want to point out is, as cool as all the characters have been in this season so far, I kind of didn't like Laurel in this episode. She kind of reverted a little bit to her previous season's Laurel a little bit for me. When she first confronted Oliver about being a hypocrite, I just didn't think that was super hypocritical, the way she explained it. It didn't seem like I want to compare those two exactly. I know they were both the sisters, but, like, he was like, oh, you didn't tell me when you went to revive Thea? Her and Thea didn't really have a relationship. Why would he have told her that? And then when they went in to find Sarah's soul, and when she heard Sarah, her first instinct was instantly bolt off, and when she was in another realm, like... she seemed just a little more, like, out of control of herself than she's been this season.
I think she's been very emotional because Sarah escaped, so she feels responsible for the people that Sarah's killed as a result, which she kind of should. But also, I think she's just being defensive because she doesn't feel good about it. I felt like I understood where she was coming from. She was definitely being irrational, but I think that was played out on purpose.
Yeah, I
agree that there was, like, reason behind it, but she's just been so rational all season, and everyone has. So it was it stood out as one of the most irrational moments of the season. So that's, I guess, why I noticed it.
Yeah, I think she's irrational though because it involves her sister. I think in every other aspect of everything they've done though, like that has not involved her immediate family, she's been very logical.
Yeah, I don't know if Lucas is saying that it's a flaw of the episode. I think he was just saying that she's being irrational.
Think about how poorly that could have gone when she bolted off into another room in another realm.
Oh, yeah.
That could have spelled disaster.
Yeah.
I like how when they went to the other realm, they had their gear on.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. Like, they just all of a sudden had their gear on. Like, I'm glad that they did, because that made it more interesting. But it was just like... Why?
It was really interesting. I don't know why, but I'll take it.
I also love when Constantine was leaving and he brought up Damien Dark. Constantine was just like, ugh, ooh.
Don't even
know about that.
He goes, leave town. That's how you deal with it. Oliver was like, goddamn. But Sarah's back. That's good. Or they got her soul back.
Yeah, she's resting. Rest for like 3 more episodes like Jay.
Yeah, and then she'll be fine.
Yeah.
Or she won't be here like Jay was. You know, where was Jay? He just in an apartment somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. And where's he going now? Is he going back to Earth too? I don't think so.
But yeah, so I'm glad that Sarah's back, even though very unpopularly I like Laurel more than Sarah. I know that's like
I too like Laurel.
An unpopular opinion among the Arrow fan base, but I don't know, something about the way she talked.
Yeah, I like Laurel more than Sarah too, actually.
Well, if there's anything that I would say that I'm most confident in, it's that Sarah will not die again for the end of this season.
Definitely not. She's got to become White Canary.
There's no way they kill her off like, what is this, 4 times now? So
yeah.
That being said, at this point in the season, who is your guys' leading candidate to be in the grave at this point?
Ooh.
Has it changed?
I still think it's going to be Officer Lance. I think that's the most likely.
I think so, too.
You both are still there?
Yeah, because he's so involved with Dark now that I feel like the only way out is going to die.
Yeah, I feel like that's why he's involved. That's why they set it up that way. It was so that...
Yeah. I don't see them killing off any of the other characters because the other characters are really, seeming to build their momentum.
Now, when Oliver was at the grave, he was like, I'm going to kill him. Because he wasn't killing people before. Do you think that there's going to be a situation where Oliver could have killed Damien and didn't, and then Damien got away? No. You think that might happen?
I think it's just...
Or
he's past his breaking point because of whoever it is.
Yeah.
I just can't see it being Officer Lance because of the way he was touching the grave.
I think if he felt that guilty about it, he could have been touching the grave like that.
It was in such a romantic way, though, that he was doing it. It wasn't like a sad way. It was like I wish I could pet your head one more time type of thing.
Yeah, I still think that Felicity is like a strong second choice because Felicity was like the voice of his reason kind of about not killing. So if he says I'm going to kill him, then it's very possible that it's Felicity not being there to tell him, what's right and wrong.
It's possible, but if it is Felicity...
And that would explain Barry more to me, Barry feeling like bad about not being there.
He didn't seem like he felt that bad about it. He was like, I'm sorry for not being here. It
seemed like he felt bad for not being there for Oliver, not for the person who died.
Yeah, I felt like if it was Felicity, he would have felt more strongly about it since they had a romantic connection in the past.
Yeah, maybe he wouldn't have missed it probably actually if it was her. He would have found a way to be there.
But if it is Felicity, I hope that they're not killing her just because they want to set Oliver up with Laurel since she's Black Canary.
I hope so as well. It would be dumb to kill off a character so that your main character doesn't have to make a choice between 2 people. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Bad writing.
Pretty much.
Which they have not done, so I don't think that'll happen.
Yeah.
No. I don't think that they'll do that. It's just a concern.
They might kill off Felicity, but they would better explain it.
Yeah. I just don't want it to feel like that's the reason. So if they do, it has to be really, really good.
You know what he could do? He could just go get some of those magical herbs.
Yeah, those
they seem to cure or stop the process of anything.
He definitely should have resupplied when he went back there in season 2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why the writers just got rid of it because it was like a magical herb. It was a plot device, basically. I still find it interesting that Thea seems like she still feels guilty about Sarah's death, even though it was entirely not her fault.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting too.
I think it was more of like a way to like get the point across that like why Sarah's after her. I think it was more of just like clarifying that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because she was like, I'm the one that killed Sarah, even though she wasn't the one in control of it. She was just like saying that Sarah's after me because I was the one that put her in a grave.
I also wonder if it could have anything to do with her because she understands the bloodlust. Like, she's like, I want it to stop in Sarah, but I also want it to stop in myself, and I don't think it'll stop in myself since my killer is already dead.
Interesting.
Right. So,
you know what I wonder is, are they going to explain to Sarah that Thea was like mind controlled? Because she doesn't know that.
I feel like it'll be a pretty easy explanation to her.
Yeah, I just want to know I'm just wondering if they'll address it at all.
I feel like they probably should.
Yeah, I feel like they should.
It was a huge plot point that Thea was her killer this episode, so.
Who knows? They keep killing people in The Flash and not addressing it.
This is also true, but Earth 2 people don't matter.
Apparently not. They're second-class citizens. Dirt.
That's why we named them Earth 2. Duh.
Yeah, I like how, like, they're Earth 1 and then they're Earth 2. Why can't they be Earth 1?
Well, I like how Martin Stein set it up. He was like, just when he was explaining it, he was like, yeah, so, like, if we're Earth, then there's another Earth. We can call that Earth 2. So, like, it wasn't like he was intentionally saying you're the second Earth. He was just explaining it. And then now that's just what's stuck, and everyone's just like, yep, you're Earth 2 now.
Earth 2. Yeah, no. I mean, yeah. I just thought it was a little funny.
All right, guys. Well, I think that wraps it up here at the various KBL Media Men headquarters. So, if you like this video, hit subscribe, hit like, comment below. Let us know what you thought of these 2 episodes.
Media Men signing off.
Subscribe!